Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm so happy to have you. Today, we have a new and exciting story for you. This story is about a girl who went to study in a foreign country. Are you ready? Let's begin. Lena was a young girl from a small town. She always dreamed of studying in another country. She wanted to learn new things, meet new people, and see the world. One day she got a chance to study in Canada. She was so happy. Her family was proud of her, but they were also a little sad. "We will miss you," her mother said, "but we know this is your dream." Lena packed her bags and got on a plane for the first time in her life. The flight was long, but she was excited. When she arrived in Canada, everything was new to her. The weather was cold, the streets were big, and people spoke English very fast. She felt a little scared. "Will I make friends? Will I understand my classes?" she thought. Lena took a deep breath and stepped out of the airport. A lady from her university was waiting for her with a big smile. "Welcome to Canada, Lena," she said. They drove to Lena's new home, a small room in a student dorm. It was different from her home, but it was cozy. She unpacked her things and looked out the window. Snow was falling outside. The next day, Lena started her classes. The university was huge. She saw students from many countries. Some spoke English very well, but Lena was still learning. At first, it was hard. She didn't understand everything the teacher said. She was too shy to talk to other students. At lunchtime, she sat alone and missed her family. "I have to be brave," she told herself. One day, Lena was in the library trying to read a difficult book. A girl sat next to her and smiled. "Hi, I'm Emma. Do you need help?" she asked. Lena was shy, but she smiled back. "Yes, English is hard for me," she said. Emma helped her with the book. They started talking, and Lena felt happy. Emma was kind and funny. She invited Lena to have coffee after class. Slowly, Lena made more friends. She joined a study group and a cooking club. She started feeling more comfortable. She still missed her family, but now she was not alone. After a few months, Lena started to feel at home in Canada, but then something happened that made her nervous again. She was asked to give a big presentation in front of her class. Lena had never spoken in front of so many people before, and she was worried about her English. "What if I make mistakes? What if they don't understand me?" she thought. Her friends, especially Emma, encouraged her. "You've got this, Lena. Just speak from your heart," Emma said. Lena practiced every day. She wrote her speech, then practiced it in front of the mirror. She even recorded herself to hear how she sounded. The more she practiced, the more confident she became. Finally, the day of the presentation came. Lena's heart was beating fast as she stood in front of the class. She looked around at her classmates, and her hands shook a little. But then she remembered her friend's advice. She started speaking. At first, her voice was soft, but soon it grew stronger. She talked about her home, her dreams, and why she chose to study abroad. Even though her English was not perfect, everyone listened closely. After she finished, her teacher smiled. "Great job, Lena. You've improved so much," she said. Lena felt proud of herself. "I did it," she thought. As time passed, Lena became more confident. She learned a lot in Canada, not just in her classes, but about herself. She made many friends, tried new foods, and even traveled to different cities. Her family visited her during the holidays, and they were amazed at how much she had grown. "We're so proud of you, Lena," her father said. Lena smiled. She knew that studying in a foreign country had changed her in many ways. She wasn't the same shy girl who first arrived. Now she was more confident, independent, and ready for the future. After completing her first year in Canada, Lena began to think about her future more seriously. She had learned so much, not just about school, but about life and herself. She had made friends from different parts of the world and learned about their cultures too. One day, her professor asked the class to think about their goals after graduation. "What do you want to do next?" he asked. Lena thought for a moment. "I want to help people back home," she said. "I want to bring new ideas to my country and make a difference." Her professor smiled. "That's a wonderful goal, Lena. Keep working hard, and you can do it." The next semester, Lena was invited to join an internship program with a company that worked with international students. It was a chance to gain experience in her field and learn more about the world of business. At first, Lena was nervous. "What if I'm not good enough? What if I can't do the work?" she thought. But then she remembered how much she had grown since arriving in Canada. She said to herself, "I can do this. I've learned so much already." Lena started her internship with excitement. The work was challenging, but she was learning every day. She worked with people from different countries, and her English improved even more. She also learned how to manage projects, speak in meetings, and write professional emails. There were difficult days, of course. Sometimes Lena felt overwhelmed by the tasks, but she always pushed through. She reminded herself of the shy girl who came to Canada and how much she had changed. One day, her boss called her into the office. "Lena, you've done an excellent job. We'd love for you to stay on full-time after you graduate," she said. Lena was overjoyed. "Thank you so much. I didn't expect this," she said. As Lena continued her internship and studies, she thought about all the opportunities ahead. She knew that studying abroad had opened many doors for her, doors that she never imagined would be possible when she first arrived. She wasn't just studying anymore. She was building her future, step by step, and she was ready for whatever came next. Her journey wasn't over, and she couldn't wait to see where it would take her. As Lena's final year in Canada approached, she began to feel both excited and nervous. She had accomplished so much, but there was still one thing on her mind: going back to her home country. She loved her life in Canada, her friends, her work, the new opportunities she had found. But deep down, she knew it was time to return home and put everything she had learned into action. Her friends, especially Emma, were sad to see her go. "I'm going to miss you so much, Lena," Emma said, hugging her tightly. "I'll miss you too," Lena replied, smiling. "But we'll stay in touch, and I'll come back to visit one day." When Lena arrived back home, things felt different. The streets, the sounds, even the food felt new to her now, but she was happy to be with her family again. Her parents were so proud of her. "You've changed so much," her mother said, smiling. Lena decided to start a project to help other young people in her town who wanted to study abroad. She wanted to share everything she had learned in Canada and help them find the same opportunities she had. Lena started a small program that helped students prepare for studying in foreign countries. She helped them with everything, choosing the right universities, writing applications, and even learning the basics of living in another country. Her program grew quickly. Soon, more and more students came to Lena for help. She felt proud to be able to give back to her community and help others chase their dreams, just like she had. Lena's journey didn't end when she returned home. It had only just begun. She realized that studying abroad had not only opened doors for her, but had also given her the tools to make a bigger impact. She knew there were still challenges ahead, but she was ready. She had learned so much from her time in Canada, and now she was ready to help others take that same step. Lena smiled to herself as she looked out at the sunset, thinking about the future. She had already done so much, but there was still so much more to do. The world was full of possibilities, and Lena was ready to explore them all. As Lena continued her work with the students in her program, she realized something important. She didn't just want to help students study abroad. She wanted to create a bridge between her country and others so that more people could share knowledge, learn from each other, and grow together. Lena began to think bigger. Why not start a scholarship fund? A way to help students who can't afford to study abroad, she thought. She started researching and talking to different organizations. With the help of her friends and mentors from her time in Canada, Lena was able to launch a scholarship fund for students who dreamed of studying overseas. A year later, Lena was sitting at a table with a group of young students, each of them excited and nervous at the same time. They were the first group of students to receive her scholarship. Lena smiled as she handed over the first scholarship check. "This is for you," she said. "Go out there and follow your dreams. I believe in you." Her eyes filled with tears of happiness as she thought about how far she had come, from the shy girl who had left her small town to the young woman who was now giving others the same chance she had. As Lena's scholarship program grew, she began receiving thank you letters and messages from students around the world. They shared their stories, their challenges, and their hopes for the future. It was then that Lena realized something amazing. Through her program, she wasn't just helping students study abroad. She was building a community, a global network of young people who were sharing ideas, cultures, and dreams. Lena felt proud knowing that she had become part of something bigger than herself. Years passed, and Lena's work continued to grow. She now had partners in many countries, and the scholarship program had sent hundreds of students abroad. Lena had not only made her own dreams come true, but had helped others do the same. She continued to travel, speak at conferences, and connect with students from around the world. She realized that studying abroad wasn't just about gaining knowledge. It was about building a world where everyone had the opportunity to learn from each other. One day, Lena received an invitation from her old university in Canada. They wanted her to come back as a guest speaker at a graduation ceremony. As Lena stood on the stage, looking out at the new graduates, she remembered her own journey. She had once sat in their place, full of dreams and hopes for the future. and now she was standing there, sharing her story with them. "I'm so proud of all of you," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "Remember, the world is full of opportunities. Don't be afraid to chase your dreams. No matter where you go or where you come from, you can make a difference." After the graduation speech, Lena returned home feeling even more inspired. She realized that her mission was not just about helping people study abroad. It was about creating long-lasting connections between cultures. She decided it was time to expand her reach even further. Lena started working on creating online platforms where students from different countries could come together, exchange ideas, and help each other prepare for their international journeys. These online groups soon became a place where students could find mentors, share experiences, and offer advice. Lena's vision was growing, and she felt proud to see her efforts starting to make a real impact. With the support of her scholarship program and a growing network of people, Lena planned her first international student conference. It was an event where students, educators, and professionals from around the world could meet, learn, and share. The event was held online, which allowed students from different countries to participate without traveling. Lena worked hard organizing everything, finding speakers, creating workshops, and promoting the event. On the day of the conference, students from all over the world connected. There were discussions on different study abroad programs, tips for living in a foreign country, and even cultural exchange activities. The event was a huge success, and Lena knew it was just the beginning. As time passed, Lena's organization began working on other projects that helped students not just study abroad, but also find ways to bring positive change to their communities when they returned. Lena wanted students to feel like they could make a difference, not just in their own lives, but in the world. She partnered with environmental groups, business leaders, and educators to create opportunities for students to participate in global volunteer programs. These programs allowed students to work on important issues like climate change, poverty, and education while gaining valuable international experience. It was more than just a chance to study. It was a chance to help the world. One day, Lena received a letter from a student who had received her scholarship several years ago. The letter read, "Dear Lena, I don't know how to thank you. Because of your scholarship, I was able to study in the United States. Not only did I gain so much knowledge, but I also met incredible people. Today, I am working on a project to bring clean drinking water to my village. Without your help, I would never have had the chance to learn, grow, or change my community. Thank you for giving me the chance to make a difference. You have changed my life forever." Lena held the letter in her hands, her eyes filled with tears. She realized that the impact of her work was much bigger than she ever imagined. She had helped change not only one person's life, but many lives all around the world. Years went by, and Lena continued to grow her network and help more students follow their dreams. She eventually expanded her work to include mentorship programs for students who wanted to become leaders and change makers. She traveled to different countries to speak at conferences, meet students, and encourage others to believe in their potential. Each day brought new challenges and new successes, but Lena never lost sight of her goal: to create a world where everyone, no matter where they come from, has the opportunity to study, learn, and make the world a better place. Lena knew this journey would never truly end. It was a lifelong mission to help others, and she was ready to continue doing it, one student at a time. Years later, Lena's scholarship program had grown into a global movement. What started as a small idea to help students study abroad had become something much larger. An international community of change-makers working together to solve global challenges. Lena was now recognized worldwide for her work, but she never let the recognition get to her head. She stayed focused on her mission, to empower young people everywhere to reach their fullest potential. One day, she received an invitation to speak at a major international summit about education and global partnerships. The event would be attended by world leaders, educators, and influencers from every corner of the globe. As Lena prepared her speech, she thought about how far she had come. From a shy girl stepping onto a plane to study abroad, to now standing in front of thousands, sharing her story and vision. It felt like a dream come true. On the day of the summit, Lena took the stage. The room was filled with people who had the power to make real change in the world. As she looked out at the audience, Lena felt a moment of stillness. She thought about all the students she had helped, the people who had believed in her, and the incredible journey that had brought her here. She began her speech. When I first left my hometown to study abroad, I was just like many of you, full of dreams, but unsure of how to make them come true. I didn't know what the future would hold, but I knew that I wanted to make a difference. And over the years, I've realized that we all have the power to make a difference. One person, one idea, one action at a time. What started as a small scholarship program has now helped thousands of students study abroad, learn from different cultures, and take those lessons back to their communities. And as we continue to grow, I believe that together, we can build a world where education and opportunity are not limited by borders. I want to challenge each one of you today. What will you do with the power you have? How will you use your knowledge, your skills, and your position to create a brighter future for all? Together, we can change the world. The room was silent for a moment before a wave of applause filled the space. Lena felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that her journey wasn't just about her success. It was about inspiring others to believe in their own potential. The summit was just the beginning of something bigger. After the event, Lena was able to connect with leaders and organizations around the world, forming partnerships that furthered her mission. She helped create new educational programs that allowed students from all backgrounds to study abroad, work on global projects, and make lasting connections across borders. The world felt smaller now, and Lena was more determined than ever to continue her work. She realized that it wasn't just about sending students abroad. It was about creating a truly global community where every person had access to opportunities, regardless of where they lived. As Lena grew older, she started thinking about her legacy. She had built something meaningful, but she wanted to ensure that her mission would continue, even after she was no longer leading it. She began mentoring young leaders who shared her vision, preparing them to take over the organization and carry on the work. One of those young leaders was a girl named Sarah, who had been a recipient of Lena's scholarship years ago. Sarah had returned to her home country and started her own program to help young women achieve their dreams through education. One day, Sarah came to Lena with a smile. "Lena," she said, "I want to thank you for everything you've done for me. Now I'm ready to carry the torch forward and help others the way you helped me." Lena smiled back, feeling a deep sense of pride. She had started a movement, and now it was in the hands of the next generation. As Sarah took over the leadership of the global movement, Lena felt at peace. She knew her work would continue, and the impact would only grow. Lena retired quietly, spending her time reflecting on the beautiful journey she had taken. She traveled, wrote books, and spent more time with her family, knowing that her legacy would inspire people for many years to come. The world was a better place because of the choices Lena made, and she was content knowing that her story had sparked a chain reaction of positive change. As time passed, the world changed in many ways. New challenges emerged, but so did new opportunities for those who were brave enough to make a difference. The global community Lena had worked so hard to build continued to grow, reaching more students and inspiring more people every year. Sarah, now leading the organization, was carrying on Lena's vision with great passion. She and a team of young leaders from across the globe developed new programs that focused on sustainable development, social entrepreneurship, and promoting cross-cultural exchange. Their goal was simple but powerful: to build a future where no dream was too big and no boundary too strong. Sarah often reflected on Lena's legacy. If Lena could do all of this, imagine what we can accomplish, she thought. One day, Sarah met with a group of students who were about to embark on their study abroad journeys. The students were excited but nervous, just like Lena had been when she first left her small town. As Sarah listened to their dreams, she thought about how much had changed since Lena started the scholarship program. "One of you might change the world," Sarah said to the group, her voice full of hope. "Remember, education is not just about gaining knowledge. It's about using that knowledge to help others and make the world a better place." Sarah smiled as the students prepared to board their flights. She knew that their experiences abroad would shape them into leaders who would continue the work Lena had started. To expand the impact of the organization, Sarah reached out to other global leaders and organizations. She wanted to create a network of partnerships that would allow students not just to study abroad, but to work on real-world projects that addressed global challenges. Soon, they developed initiatives focused on clean energy, poverty alleviation, and human rights, where students could gain hands-on experience while contributing to meaningful causes. It was more than just education. It was about giving students the chance to become active participants in solving the world's biggest problems. Sarah felt deeply grateful that she had the opportunity to continue the work that Lena had started. As the years went by, Lena's influence continued to spread. Her story was told in books, documentaries, and speeches at major global events. She became a symbol of hope and resilience, proving that one person's dream could truly change the world. Sarah continued to lead the movement, but there was always a part of her that remembered the quiet strength of Lena, the woman who had given so much to others. Every new student who received a scholarship, Every new leader who emerged was a testament to the vision that had started with Lena. One day, while visiting a school in a rural part of the world, Sarah met a young girl who reminded her so much of herself when she was younger. The girl was full of dreams, but her family didn't have the means to support her education. Sarah smiled and promised, "One day you'll be studying abroad, just like Lena and I did. And when you do, you'll change the world." And so the circle of inspiration continued. Lena's dream had grown into a global force for change, and it was now being passed on to the next generation. Students who had once been helped by the program were now helping others, just as Lena had helped them. Each student, each leader, was a living reminder that one act of kindness, one vision, can spread across the world and create ripples of change. As Lena had always said, "We may come from different places, but we all have the power to make the world a better place." Lena's journey, from a shy girl dreaming of studying abroad to a global leader inspiring change, may have come to a close, but her impact will last for generations. Her story continues in the hearts and actions of all the students, leaders, and dreamers who followed in her footsteps, creating a ripple effect that spans the globe. And so, the story of Lena is complete. For now. But the message remains clear. No matter where you start, no matter how big your dreams may seem, you have the power to make a difference. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Lena's life. I hope her story has inspired you as much as it has inspired me. Remember, your own story is just beginning, and the world is waiting for you to make your mark.